Nanepashemet. I'm of the Wampanoag Nation. I want to talk to you today. I'd like to be here in person, but unfortunately I'm not able to make it. But I want to talk to you about the Aboriginal voice, Native people's voice in the archaeological world. We've been studied for... My name is Nanepashemet of Wampanoag Nation. I'd like to talk to you today about archaeology and its impact upon Native people. Archaeology in what is called North and South America impacts upon us in a tremendous way, because here people of a foreign culture are excavating our people, our past, and trying to interpret it according to their cultural understanding. And most of the time this has been done historically without any input from Native people themselves. Many assumptions and preconceived notions have crept into the archaeological record about us, and they are contrary to what we have to say about ourselves. What hurts the most is that a lot of the language that's used to describe our past is prejudicial to us. The concept of prehistory is a case in point. It seems that everything that happened before October 12, 1492 in the Western Hemisphere was part of the prehistoric age, in that if a native person of the Arawak people spoke to Columbus about what happened the day before Columbus got there, that's prehistory. It has absolutely nothing to do with real facts. It's prehistory. But we have a history. We have many histories. The Wampanoag people of eastern Massachusetts have a history that goes long back. We don't have a great deal of details of our history that have survived the ravages of colonialization, but we do remember about the creation of the world. We do remember that human beings were made in this part of the world. We do remember stories that talk about people first going to what is now Martha's Vineyard Island, but walking there, not going by boat, long thousands of years before the sea level rose. This is a record of time that we have preserved to the present day. We know about when corn and beans came to our people. That was about 1,000 years ago in southern New England. So these things are history. They are things that happened long before Europeans ever heard of this place. And to call our traditions, our oral traditions, prehistory is to say that it doesn't count, that we somehow have no place in the record. It's a conquest by words. When one culture dominates the record, particularly when they're speaking about another people. We've been called primitive. These are words that hurt, because they talk about us as if we didn't know what we were doing, that we had no system, where it's been found by many people that the technology that our people had to survive, if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be here today. So, we don't put our ancestors down. We talk about them with a great deal of respect, because if they did not have the skills of long ago, we would not be here. It's important for archaeologists to get to talk to Native people. It's important for them to listen finally to what we have to say. There are many concerns that we have about our people, particularly when it comes to the issues of reburial of our relatives. Human remains to us are sacred, and I don't know how many times we've said this, but we are continually saying it over and over again as if nobody is really listening to us. Our remains are when we put them in the ground, we intend for them to stay there. We don't want our people to be dug up and displayed in museums anymore. We want our relatives to be put back into the earth where they were intended to be. Oftentimes we try to use a moral argument in talking to the non-native peoples and saying, how would you like it if we dug up your people? But we find that that argument doesn't work, because some of them would be perfectly happy to dig up their relatives. Well, if that's the case, dig up yours, leave ours alone. We don't want ours dug up. We don't have the value system of your culture, and we don't expect you to have the value system of ours. We just expect that you would respect our ways in our home, just like we would respect your ways in your home. And if you can't do that, if you find that it's very difficult to have respect for us as human beings, then perhaps you should go into another profession, because if you can't respect the living, then you certainly have no respect for the dead. And the dead are not powerless. We have many stories about how the dead have come and taught us things, how the dead have reacted to what the living are doing. So we do not expect that you will understand these things, but perhaps someday you will. It's often the case that wherever archaeologists don't understand something, they refer to it as ceremonial. Just like they would often talk about us and say whenever we didn't understand something, we'd make a myth about it. Well, there are many myths that have been recorded about us that oftentimes are found to be disproved. How many times have archaeologists revised their thinking and have changed their textbooks, particularly saying how long native people have been in this continent? Many, many times. There was once a time when they thought that we were just here for a few thousand years. And it's been proven that our people have been in southern New England for 11,000 years at least. It's a long time to be here. And you can't just call it prehistory and just dismiss it as if it was nothing. These are our relatives, these are our ancestors, and we expect that you should listen to what we have to say about our people, and don't put our people down because they haven't got the academic training that you have, because there's a lot of different insights that human beings have about themselves that go beyond academia. Thank you.